because I don't think she has her clearances finished yet, so. Yeah. What's that?
Sorry, I don't look you personally, but I was hoping to print.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
The words. And she was here for the movie, last year, I think, and she's been with ESG. I thought that she wanted to see us.
Okay. And as far as those Athens people, I'm happy to talk with them, you know, just to clarify a little what I wrote. But I think they could easily find someone. I also think if they, you know, if they happen to have a friend in their congregation, they could do it themselves. It's, you know, someone who was willing to deal with someone who failed them.
Other than she's very strong in detail. Let me send me forward.
Question for you.
Yes.
I think one thing we need to figure out also is how many hours do we think we need
Right,
for whatever else we want to do on a regular basis?
yeah.
And then ask George, can your schedule with all the other stuff that you do accommodate more requirements?
Yes, we will certainly give George
First dibs.
yeah.
'Cause
I think we needed just like a needs assessment
Right,
first.
correct.
What is it that we want done? Yeah, okay.
The other thing, does anybody mind moving that stuff into?
Is that all the music stuff?
That's all music stuff. And it really looks jumpy.
Yeah,
I mean, we could put it on cues in the little side, you know, in storage there if we need to, as opposed to
yeah,
leaving it
I think
on.
that's a good idea. I think the other thing is, most people Thank you, Anam, for Maiden Voyage by Herbie Hancock. That was masterful. Good morning. Welcome to our Sunday worship service. I'm Kathy McCoubry, and I use she, her pronouns. Reverend McKinley Sims will join us next week for our in-gathering and the start of our new church year. It's my honor to co-lead this service with Tim Steyer, and we will be joined by Fern Culhane and Bruce Pollock Johnson, our delegates to the annual meeting of our denomination last June. So many thanks to Bruce and to Anam for also providing our music, and to Mike Foy for running our AV tech today. A few small announcements before we begin. Please silence your cell phones so that we can all be as present as possible in this space. Restrooms are located at the rear of the sanctuary, down the stairs to the right, or the mechanical lift to the left, and Usher can help you navigate either option. We are streaming live, and if you are joining us online, you can choose to toggle on the closed captions by clicking the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. This is a Unitarian Universalist congregation, which means we are people of many differences, different faith traditions, different racial identities, different gender expressions, and the different ways we each have of moving through and showing up in the world. We are also people of togetherness who join in covenant to act with love and take action together for transformation, liberation, and healing. This is what makes us UUs. So every June, UUs from across the country and some from abroad gather for General Assembly, also called GA, of the Unitarian Universalist Association, UUA. And those are the only acronyms I will use this morning. It's an association of congregations. It is not a hierarchical religious or administrative authority. Today's service is about sharing with you some of the spiritual and practical guidance, new music, energy, and inspiration to meet the moment that 4 of us experienced at GA earlier this summer. We were in Baltimore with Reverend McKinley, soon to be Reverend Shay Dively, our summer minister, and Tamako Shine from Aging People in Prison Human Rights Campaign, which is housed upstairs here. Miska Shaw, a Justice Council stalwart, was able to attend the Sunday morning service. UUs of Mount Airy were in the house. So, including Linda. Meet the moment. The theme of this year's GA is also a campaign to mobilize Unitarian Universalism as a religious movement that shows up out loud in solidarity to aid and defend the most vulnerable among us, our democratic institutions and our climate, and to oppose war and injustice. To initiate this campaign, the UUA organized WAVE cohorts that began meeting 6 months before GA. These cohorts were groups of experienced stakeholders in different areas, such as ministry, worship, and religious education, to pool their knowledge and wisdom and start to brainstorm how centering love and applying our shared values could be carried out in their domains. They were called WAVE cohorts to communicate the cyclical rhythm and power of waves with the potential to carry a movement forward. Delegates and attendees at GEA could choose a cohort to join this process over several days, with time to share each other's ideas, successes, and obstacles towards operationalizing this vision. I attended a series of workshops on congregational administration, not too sexy. But hearing about the challenges of other small congregations and learning about new tools and ways we could share administrative resources was helpful in reimagining how we might lighten our load and strengthen our mission. All of us who are at GA hope that you'll learn from and be inspired by the information and spirit in this service. May our gratitude and intentions be guiding lights for us this morning. Come, let us worship together.
There's a new hymnal.
Bruce, we haven't chimed in our worship.
Sorry.
Bruce?
There's a new hymnal, which is one of the things that was talked about at the
Bruce, I think we have the chalice lighting.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Bruce is so eager to share this new music with us. Yeah, yeah. Okay. In UU congregations, we light a chalice to celebrate our coming together in love, to mark the sacred space and time of our community and invite the Spirit into our lives. We invite you to light a candle wherever you are today and read along with us here in the sanctuary. We'll read the chalice lighting words by Reverend Dr. Nicole Kirk together as Tim lights our chalice. In a world that seems to reward dominance, let this worship be an act of moral resistance. Let our prayers be for peace. Let our commitment be to justice. With love at the center, let us worship. Our opening hymn is Love is at the Center. Bruce, would you come forward and teach it to us?
Oh, sure. Thank you. All right, there we go. So this is one of the new hymns. It's a brand new hymnal. Part of the idea of doing
Bruce, can you use the mic so people at home can hear you?
Thank you. Good idea. I'm going to talk a little more about the hymnal, but this is one of the new hymns that there's actually 200 new hymns that have been added already. UUism is a very dynamic association of congregations, movement, and the hymnal is reflecting that, so that there'll be new hymns coming in constantly, especially right now. There's a need for that. So this one is called Love is at the Center. It's by Emily Joy Goldberg, also known as Emily Joy, who's a member at Unitarian Society of Germantown. And it goes like this. I believe in the power of giving. I believe in the power of change. Try it. I believe in the power of differences. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. I believe in the power of justice. I believe in the power of fairness. I believe in the web of life. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Let's do the chorus. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Nice singing.
Part of our being a community is learning to share the authentic and vulnerable parts of ourselves with others, to see and be seen, to know and to be known. We make space today for that sharing, all of which helps to build this congregation into beloved community. We invite you to share what's going on in your life, to name your feelings and the people on your heart in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, and other help. We invite you to get into your body and investigate what emotions you're experiencing and to share them as you feel called so we can help one another hold our joys, our grief, our in-between feelings. We build community by celebrating our good things, mourning our troubles, taking risks, and listening deeply. For our online sharing, we invite you who are on Zoom to share what you're feeling this week and to lift up the names of those about whom you are thinking in the chat. If you would like us to share your joy or sorrow out loud, please include the word share in your message. And for those who are here in our sanctuary, we ask that you come up one at a time by the side aisle to pick up a stone or stones from the basket, infuse and charge it with your joy or sorrow, and place it in a bowl of water, where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. This morning, we invite you to take a moment to witness how your stone nestles next to the stones of others and how all are surrounded by the water that symbolizes our community's shared grief and joy. If you would like to share something important on your heart, please speak directly into the microphone and be mindful that we are broadcasting to the internet. All are welcome to participate in any of these ways, and for those who have gathered virtually, Kathy will add stones on your behalf. We will then listen to some contemplative music and hold all these joys and sorrows together. The sacred space of deep sharing is now open.
My name is Annabelle. Harold and I had a wonderful summer, and at this time last week, I was climbing a mountain in the Cascade Mountains over the hills, over the mountains from Seattle, and I was swimming in a mountain stream, and I had the joy of swimming in a large, cold mountain pond. So that's my joy in life, is swimming and being with family. We had a wonderful time.
Worried about my daughter again. She got scammed for about half of the money she had, and she's working out a solution. So
Louise, she, her. Today is the 10th anniversary of the death of my younger sister, Alice. But my joy is that she's really able, I really feel her with me at every protest, every community gathering, when I'm making calls, when I'm doing postcards. And so I just want to put out there that suggestion to think of our ancestors or people who we've lost, and just think of holding them in our heart as we do whatever we can in this world.
My name is Paul, and 2 days ago was the 20th anniversary of the Katrina flood in New Orleans, and I just wanted to remember the thousands of people that in the city that was impacted then and continues to be impacted. And also I want to especially remember the people I had the privilege of meeting my trips down there doing rehab work, and they really do continue to be an inspiration to me.
Good morning, I'm Jill. Of course, the sorrow for all of us are those two beautiful boys who were taken just so needlessly. Also, today is the 18th year since my big brother Lee passed suddenly, and with time, that shock and grief softens, but he loved the Phillies, so I'm always reminded a lot about him when they're playing. And my joy is I've realized more and more how covenants are important to me in every part of my life. It has really been so in my consciousness. And sometimes there's challenges in keeping a covenant and going back and making something right, but it's always a beautiful thing and always soothing.
Hi, I'm Sandy. I don't know if you understood why somebody was robbed, but there's been a huge break-in all over the world, apparently, into banks and into this, apparently using the cloud. So if you have the cloud, I don't know what to recommend because I don't. I just have a little flip-top phone. But it's bad for a lot of people, and I don't know until Tuesday whether it's bad for me. I belong to I don't belong to a standard bank. I belong to Credit Union. Thank you. Yes, and I don't know. They are supposed to be a federal credit union, and who knows? They just may have been used by somebody that we don't like. So anyway, I'm going to pass this on. It's kind of falling.
Hi, I'm Linda. My stone was for the families at the Annunciation Church.
My name is Bruce, and I just was feeling, I guess the main feeling was relief. We had a concert here last night. We haven't done a summer concert for decades, and we're worried that we wouldn't be able to fill, and we had 70 people here last night rocking away. The Bluegrass Against Fascism concert was wonderful, and so I'm happy.
Hi, I'm Rita. I put a stone in for my sister-in-law, my former sister-in-law, Jeannie Bonzik Fitzgerald, who passed on Wednesday. She had multiple health conditions, and the last 10 years of her life were not good at all. Secondly, of course, as Linda said, for the 2 children that lost their life from the Annunciation shooting, and the 17 more that have been injured. And the heartbreak is, it's not the end. There'll be more, because we just can't seem to get it in this country that you can't let people have guns, so.
And Kathy, would you please?
Tim, 1 second.
Go ahead, sure.
Just a stone for Chris Hill, who fell and injured his knee that had been replaced and requires surgery this week. So please hold him in your hearts and send in your healing energy.
And if you could add a final stone for all those joys and sorrows not shared out loud, but held in the sacred quiet of our hearts. Thank you. Friends, please join me in a moment of silence as we hold these joys and sorrows spoken and unspoken in our hearts. Amen. Blessed be, may it be so. And now we will have our GA discussion, and I think Fern, you're first.
Good morning. Those of you that know me know that I am kind of a techno turtle. And, okay, let's see. How, like that? Okay, so apologies in advance. As a techno turtle, this is new for me, so I hope I can do this smoothly. As you know, I'm Fern, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm here to tell you briefly about two things. Back to the acronyms, AIWs, which I am going to use it just to keep it shorter, but it means Actions of Immediate Witness, AIW. And then a personal favorite, a related organization of the UUA called UUSN, Unitarian Universalists, Unitarian Universalist Studies Network, UUSN. So, here we go. The UUA describes an AIW as a statement about a significant action, event, or development in the world that necessitates immediate engagement and action among UU member congregations and groups. Unlike the statement of conscience that Bruce will talk about later, an AIW does not carry the full authority of the UUA. Rather, it expresses the conscience and carries the authority of the delegates at the GA at which it is passed. So it's immediately connected to our delegates. The AIW process allows UUs to respond quickly to social issues that are deemed urgent. Adopted AIWs are used by congregations in local efforts and can empower them to take action and recommend action through other departments of the UUA and other Unitarian Universalist groups. Now, like the statements of conscience, the proposals include documentation of the problem and suggestions of ways a congregation might act in support of the AIW. This year, there were 5 proposed AIWs that met the criteria. I don't know how many were actually submitted, but 5 met the criteria. They were brought to the GA, and delegates were to vote for the 3 that they wanted brought to the floor for an actual vote. Here are those proposed AIW statements. We declare and affirm immigrants are people who have inherent worth and inalienable rights. Defending LGBTIQ freedom amidst the funding crisis, a call for global solidarity. Faithful defiance of authoritarianism, reaffirming our covenants for democracy and freedom. Number 4, bringing a feminist and womanist lens to resistance and activism. And the final fifth one, voter justice and racial equity for the citizens of the nation's capital. Now, the Washington, D.C. voter justice, racial equity suggestion and the feminist and womanist lens proposals received fewer votes than the other three. Consequently, those top three, the first three I read, were brought to a final vote of approval on June 21st. You could vote for any or all of those proposals, and they were resoundingly approved. So these are the ones about immigrants, about LGBTIQ freedom, and finally, defiance of authoritarianism. I can help you find more information about these AIWs. Just let me know of your interest. Now, to the UU Studies Network. The UUSN is called a related organization in the a related organization to the UUA. It's defined in the UUA web pages as not a congregation, not a covenanting community, but a group that does important work in providing identity groups for Unitarian Universalists, focusing on specific justice work, supporting people working within Unitarian Universalism, and providing unique UU experiences. Related organizations are in a formal relationship, like a covenant, with the UUA in order to advance Unitarian Universalist values, and they claim a UU identity. So that's what the UUSN is, a related organization. I was first drawn to this group because I found numerous journals in my dad's collections of UU history and heritage. And that's when I started trying to learn about it. The organization describes its members thusly. The UUSN brings together multiple supportive, academic, and independent scholars, students, religious professionals, and lay people who contribute to the intellectual, here's a word for you, ecclesial, imaginative, and liberatory study of Unitarian Universalism. Phew. They specifically say, and this is what grabbed me, no credential, title, or educational background is required in order to take part. All are invited to join our endeavors. Hey, I'm a complete novice, I can fit in there. I attended their presentations at GAs. If you're interested, look for the Conrad Wright lecture in the GA listings. That's what the UUSN presents. And then in 2019, I attended my first convocation. It was held nearby in Baltimore, Maryland, and I was hooked. The topics, the presenters, and the participants were all fascinating. Ask me about it sometimes when you've got some time. These convos are only offered every 3 years. So the next one, delayed by COVID in 2023, was the first to use a multi-platform or hybrid system. And I was able to attend virtually while traveling with my husband for one of his professional events. But this year's convo is being held in Charlotte, North Carolina. The theme is expanding the boundaries of Unitarian Universalist studies. It'll meet from Thursday evening, November 6th, and close with a Sunday worship service, November 9th. The cost of the registration continues to be attractive. $300 for the full registration, $100 for an online registration, and you can still apply for a scholarship through September 12th. Here is the description of the convo at the UUSN website. Scholarship on Unitarian Universalism has focused primarily on white elite men in the Northeast or the Midwest, and the field has been dominated by historians and theologians. This conference seeks to move beyond the traditional subjects of Unitarian Universalist scholarship and expand the geographical, thematic, and chronological scope of the field. The 2023 UUSN convocation sought to widen the circle, and this convocation seeks to make it wider still. They invited papers on a broad range of topics in American and global Unitarian Universalism, including, but not limited to, explorations of race, gender, and class, then religious and spiritual hybridity, I have no idea if I'm saying that correctly, and Unitarian Universalism, and then Unitarianism and Universalism outside of the United States. It may be a little late for you to plan a trip to Charlotte, but the online version will provide you with much food for thought. I'd love to tell you more, and I do welcome your questions at any time. Thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Bruce Pollock Johnson, and I was one of our delegates. I'm just going to talk about a couple things. One is something that had existed for a while and disappeared briefly. It's called a congregational study action issue. And the idea is to have something that's studied for a number of years, possibly ending in a statement of conscience. So studying an issue from a UU lens and seeing if we'd like to make a statement about it. So this year there were proposals for 3 different topics or issues. One was called Abolition is Faith Formation. Second was Fat Liberation, Building Justice and Inclusion for Larger Bodies. And the third was Housing, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The one that got chosen was the abolition one. And I'm going to read you a little bit about the background because I think it's very interesting, the approach that they're taking. It was sponsored by what's called the Church of the Larger Fellowship. For people who don't have a physical church or congregation near them, they can belong to a nationwide congregation called the Church of the Larger Fellowship. So the description of the need for this. Abolition is a holistic approach to systemic social change that includes, but it is not limited to, the abolition of slavery, replacing systems and cultures of violence, coercion, and control with transformative justice and relational practices, and dismantling the prison industrial complex as we now know it. It requires the transformation of our society and the replacement of our current public theologies of retributive justice and violence. A commitment to the practices and ideals of abolition would ask our congregations to make connections among many threads of our social justice work. It is grounded in at least 200 years of Unitarian Universalist history and theology. The Church of the Larger Fellowship comes to the issue, they were the ones who proposed this, based on our accountability to the almost 2,000 incarcerated Unitarian Universalists who call our congregation their spiritual home. We believe that engaging the study action process on this topic will be transformative for our members, our congregations, and our communities. So there is some then discussion of how this connects to Unitarian Universalism. A couple places that I wanted to mention. One is that this church here comes from a Universalist tradition, and one of the factors they talk about here is that Universalism teaches us that our worthiness is not defined by our sins or lack of them. If we truly believe this, we are charged to develop better ways to treat people who do harm or who are unjustly accused of doing harm. We believe that our faith calls us to imagine a future in which none of our siblings are shackled and caged. Many of our spiritual ancestors embraced the abolition of slavery in the US. You've probably heard of Theodore Parker, Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, who was from Philadelphia, Elhanan Winchester, Lydia Marie Child, William Lloyd Garrison, Lucy Stone, and many more. And yet their abolition abolitionist project was left unfinished. The 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution abolished enslavement except as a punishment for crime. It is time we finished the job they started. That's what studying this is all about. There are materials that talk about UU theologies, how they connect, UU history, the abolishment of slavery specifically, and how UUs have connected to it, conflict resolution, restorative justice, and transformative justice will be part of the exploration. Congregation, looking at congregational policies and practices in light of abolition. Multi-generational dimensions. Prison ministries. Ending cycles of violence, abuse, and trauma. Public theology, and eliminating root causes of crime. There are possible congregational or regional actions that can be studied, possible social witness activities and statements that could be made. There are UU initiatives that connect to this topic, organizations such as the UU Service Committee, BLUE, which is Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, DRUM, which is Diverse Revolutionary Unitarian Multicultural Ministries, and a number of other groups. And then there's a list of resources. So it's something that we can think about. If you're interested in pursuing that in the congregation here, let me know and we'll see. We have several years to work on it, but I think it would be a great thing for us to do, very consistent with things we've done in the past. Okay, switching to talk about the hymnal a little bit. There are already 200 songs in the new hymnal. It's online. We have already joined as a congregation, and I believe, I don't know the details, but that you can sign up, register for it because you're a member of this congregation and have access to these songs. For each song, there's the sheet music. There are slides that you can use like we just did this morning. You can edit those slides if you want. You can look at who the lyricist is, as well as the composer, the lyrics, the meter. You can get a PDF of the sheet music. You can transpose it into any key. The sheet music is all sitting there. You can get a Braille version. You can get electronic versions for a MIDI machine or in XML form or MEI, get an MP3, and all resources connected to those songs. So it's quite an expansion from what we had in the older hymnals. And now we're going to sing one of the songs. It is a little more complicated, and we don't have the sheet music to give everyone for this. What we're going to do is I'll sing the verses and you can sing the chorus on this. So it's called This Boat. That's the chorus there that we'll be singing together. So, I'll sing the chorus once, then we can try it, and then we'll launch into this. Okay? There we go. All right. Chorus goes like this. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Try it. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're hardship. We all know pain, but nothing ventured means nothing gained. And every rainbow needs the rain. You're not alone, try again. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Even if you've been tempest-tossed, even if you feel that all is lost, you've heard of the thunder roar, had a look at heaven's door. If you're sinking like a stone, this boat will carry you home. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. In this boat, there's nothing we can do together. Don't let the weather, no matter the charts aren't ours, we will navigate by our stars. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Nice singing.
Thank you, Bruce. We're so excited because we have so many new songs in this digital hymnal, and Bruce and our music director, Nate Berge, are going to help us bring our spirits out through music all year. Now's the time when we collect our offering of financial resources for the good of this community. There are many ways to give back to this community, and we encourage you to find a way that works for you. To give financial support, any money or checks put in the plate today are used for our everyday operations, but pocket change or money that you put in the envelope and designate as change for change, either or also online, will be sent to this month's recipient of our Change for Change collection, which is the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. More info is on the screen about how to give online. You can also use the mobile app, Vanco Mobile. And if this is your first time with us, there's no expectation that you give anything other than filling out a contact card in the pew there, and letting us know how you found us and how we can support you. The offering will now be gratefully accepted.
Friends, as we are gathered this morning for our service titled Sing Out Love and Meet the Moment, I want to share with you some of my reflections from this year's General Assembly. First, I wanted to thank Kathy for a very good overview and framing of this year's General Assembly. And I also want to thank Kathy and Bruce for their presentations. Fern, I'm sorry. This year marked the first time for me attending General Assembly since the infamous 1992 GA in South Carolina, then known as the Thomas Jefferson District, when Black UU attendees, including myself, protested the evening ball where everyone was told to come dressed in period attire. We, the Black attendees, showed up as a form of protest, dressed in rags and chains. Local police showed up, and some of us were arrested. While that was 33 years ago, the contrast between this year's GA is worth mentioning. Then, George Bush was the president. In 1992 also was the year of the Rodney King beatings by police in Los Angeles and the subsequent riots. It also was the last time since this year that active duty military were deployed on U.S. soil. It also was a pivotal moment for the Unitarian Universalist Association's denomination's ongoing work towards anti-oppression. Delegates ended up passing a resolution that served as a precursor to the definitive anti-racist and anti-oppression multicultural resolution adopted 5 years later in 1997. Sorry, going back. This year, I attended not as a representative of UU Mount Airy, but in my capacity with the UUA accountability team. Our team serves as internal consultants to UUA leadership, including both the board and the administration. We offer insights and recommendations on equity issues, acting as thought partners and advisors to ensure alignment with the UUA shared values and covenant. This involves providing observations to the board and gathering perspectives from various stakeholders. The accountability team was formed in response to the Commission on Institutional Change, emphasis on the need for systemic change and ongoing monitoring of accountability related to equity, inclusion, and diversity. Specifically, the COIC recommended establishing an ongoing independent body for these functions, comprised of representatives from marginalized groups and having direct board representation. Essentially, our work is to help the leadership of our denomination uphold integrity in our values and in their commitment in carrying out anti-racist and anti-oppression resolutions. Despite my specific role, I enjoyed meeting up and dining with Fern, Bruce, Kathy, Linda, and Tomiko from the Aging People in Prison Human Rights Campaign on my first night. It was also a pleasure to reconnect with fellow UUs from across the country whom I haven't seen in a long time. For me, attending GA left me spiritually energized. It provided me with a profound sense of deep spiritual camaraderie and community, leaving me with a cautious optimism that we are indeed a group moving in a good direction, especially amidst all the perilous times we face in our country. I am buoyed with that sense, knowing that the history of Unitarianism and Universalism, and that somehow, some way, we have always led through similar times in upholding religious liberal values. The General Assembly sessions lay bare the moment we are in, grappling with ongoing damage to migrants, people of color, LGBTQ+ individuals, especially trans people, threats to our democracy, and funding losses. Yet in response, the discussions and lectures highlighted urgent needs and opportunities to humanize everyone, combat dehumanization, and build solidarity, particularly with our LGBTQ+ and migrant siblings. We realize that our UU values calls us to respond by actively engaging in public discourse, particularly in acts of resistance, refusing to cede the religious ground, and assertively sharing our stories, especially in spaces often dominated by white Christian nationalists. This brings me to the powerful message of love at the center. Our UUA President, Reverend Dr. Sophia Betancourt, has articulated this vision so profoundly in her theological reflections from her book, Love at the Center. Unitarian Universalist Theologies. She reminds us that love is an inherent relational enterprise. It isn't about retreating into defensiveness or focusing on what we individually believe. Instead, love cares how we can generate life-giving hope in concert with those around us. As Unitarian Universalists, she emphasizes we believe in a love that is powerful beyond comprehension, and in our responsibility to embody the spirit of that love. This GA reinforced that our shared values are rooted in justice, pluralism, and generosity, equity and transformation, interdependence, and centered around love. This is a love that expects nothing less of us than the rebuilding of this struggling world. We must ensure our understanding of love isn't shallow or used as a yardstick to measure one another, but rather a powerful, unifying voice. This GA also clearly outlined, hold on for a second. There we go. This GA clearly outlines what we need to do to meet the moment and keep love in the center, drawing on many voices, including the spirit embodied by Reverend Dr. Nicole Kirk, who led the Sunday worship. Amari Jones, in her impactful Where lecture, exposed how anti-trans politics are used as a wedge issue to undermine democracy, uniting one side while splitting the others, even among liberals. Her urgent plea to actively support trans rights and live up to our UU values serves as a powerful call to action. The essence of this call is to actually live our values. Technology does strange things. This means showing up when there's an anti-trans resolution at a school board or legislation, challenging anti-trans conversations in our social circles, supporting local trans organizations and asking why trans people aren't present in our own gatherings. These are actions are not just politics, they are fundamental to our faith. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a past Ware lecturer, reminds us, justice is a verb, and so is democracy and righteousness. We are called to believe the words that are on the paper. The UUA General Assembly 2025 reminded us that the work of liberation is never done, and each generation must take up the torch and carry it forward. Our faith must be both a rallying cry and a refuge, offering a sanctuary for the soul and summoning the livable bodies of love and justice out in the world. We need to nurture our spiritual roots through music, poetry, meditation, and prayer to transform ourselves and the world. Most importantly, we are reminded that rarely, if ever, are any of us healed in isolation. None of us can do this alone. So let us heed this call to not stop organizing and resisting, not stop dreaming, and most profoundly, not stop loving. This faith matters, our communities matter, our dreams matter, and the actions we take in the months and years ahead are rooted in love. They truly matter. Do not be afraid. Thank you.
Our next hymn is in the Gray Hymnal, number 298, Wake Now My Senses. We'll sing verses 1 through 4. And we invite you to stand in body or rise in spirit as we sing this hymn together.
Wake now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation you're now. Giving, receiving as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Singing thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now my compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take as your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience, justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied.
Thank you, Bruce. As we get ready to extinguish our chalice and end our time together this morning, please remember to stick around for announcements in the slides and for downstairs for lemonade. Folks on Zoom are invited to check in with each other. We apologize we weren't able to monitor the chat this morning. For more information on what's going on in the life of this congregation, you can check the weekly newsletter that comes out on Thursdays, or you can look at the insert in the order of service. Also, please check out our website and social media pages for more important updates. The words to extinguish our chalice are by Elizabeth Sell Jones. Please read them aloud from the screen behind me, or find them in your order of service as Tim puts out the light. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing hymn is As You Leave This Place, and we invite you to stand in body or rise in spirit as we sing this hymn, composed by Bruce and accepted into our new digital hymnal.
Yeah, if you look in the hymnal, it's not there quite yet. I had to fill out some forms that, so it's not quite there, but hopefully it will be soon. I think most of us know this now. We're just going to do it a cappella, and we'll do it twice. As you leave this space, know that you belong. Know that you are not alone. Know that you are loved. As you leave this place, know that you belong. Know that you are not alone. Know that you are loved.
Our closing words are, thank you for all being with us today. I want to invite everyone to conversation and fellowship after the service in our basement coffee hour. Please enjoy the raucous postlude from General Assembly's Sunday worship as we head towards higher ground, as always. Let's meet the moment together. Have a great week and be brave.
That's good.
Sing with me. People, keep on learning. Soldiers, keep on warring. World, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. People, powers keep on lying, while your people, they keep on dying. World,
try.